Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I'd like to talk about the brand new Disney Plus Marvel show, Wandavision, which is the first Marvel show that's going to be on Disney Plus. And I don't think it was originally intended to be, but I think with the way things are at the moment, that's made them have to switch things around. Because it's an odd choice if it was going to be the first one. Because we're kind of coming off the back of the Mandalorian, which obviously is a Star Wars thing, but is it's one of the big budget straight to Disney Plus shows that we've got now, and this is the first, or the second one, the first big Marvel one. Um, and it's a really interesting one. They put it in the Mandalorian's Friday slot as well, and people complain again, like people do now, when they don't release series all in one go. But I like having one a week. I like having things to look forward to every week, especially at the moment. And it kind of you watch one episode, you can think about it, you can talk about it. Everyone who watches it when it comes out is in the same boat. So like you don't get things spoiled for you on Twitter or whatever as frequently as you would do if everything came out at once. But that's just me. That's what I like. I was surprised it was 2 episodes, but I'm kind of glad it was as well. Like at first, I was like, I'd rather it just be one because I'd rather watch one and then, like I say, digest it, then have another one. But I feel like if 2 episodes was a good choice because it's a very odd show, and I feel like two helped me get kind of the flavour for it a little bit more and kind of understand it. And I watched them both back to back yesterday, more or less, when they first came out. Today's Saturday, the day after it came out. And then I just watched them both again now and made notes, as I like to do. Like when I watch The Mandalorian, watch it once to enjoy it, have some initial thoughts, watch it again to get a feel for it, and then make some notes. And I do like what they've done with this show. It's a very bold choice. Like it's really interesting. Like I watched some of the promotional material, stuff like this. Like I'm already sold. You don't need to sell me with trailers. So I watched the first or second trailer to get kind of a feel for it. And then I don't watch anything else because I don't like things being spoiled. Not that the trailers spoil things, but sometimes they do. So it's I just kind of go, right, I'm already on board. Don't need to watch anymore. And you kind of got the idea that the classic sitcom thing they were kind of going for. But I kind of thought that was just more an aesthetic choice, and like they kind of start not each episode, but kind of start like that, and then it would become something else. But they've gone all in on this sitcom thing, and I'm going to talk about both episodes together more or less, just because it's easier. The first one was more of a 50s kind of sitcom, kind of just awkward social situations kind of thing. And then the second one was more of a 60s sitcom, which is a bit broader and a bit kind of had a few more characters involved and a bit more. I'm pretty sure, I don't know if the first episode had a laughter track because I didn't make a note of that, but the second one had quite a prevalent laugh track, which I think was kind of a big switch in between, say, the 50s and 60s as well. I can't remember, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think the first one did have a laugh track. So I think that's probably less common then, but again, I could be wrong on that. I found that there was less of a jump between these 2 episodes in terms of style than there was what there will be probably in the coming episodes. Like obviously the next one more of a 70s thing, as we saw at the end of episode 2. Spoilers, by the way, but I'm not that I can really spoil anything in this show. I think it's like but at the moment at least, but yeah. Obviously that changed to colour, so that's quite a big jump. But at first, when I first watched it, I didn't quite clock the differences as easily. And then, but like I say, when I watched both episodes, it helped me to understand kind of what they were going for. But I noticed like their kind of the acting style changed in between. So they kind of changed from, like say, the 50s style to a bit more kind of not sarcastic, but a bit more kind of tongue in cheek kind of way of like the 60s kind of characters and how they'd act and that kind of thing. So obviously they're both black and white, so it wasn't quite as big of a jump, like I say. But the intros helped. Like the animated intro for episode number 2 was really good, and I've still got that in my head now. The Wandavision bit. I'm not going to sing it because I can't. But yeah, I did like that. I found when I first initially watched them, I thought I enjoyed the second episode more, but like I said, that's because I kind of understood it a bit better. But rewatching them, I actually enjoyed the first one more. And I'm a fan of classic sitcoms anyway, so I'm really looking forward to them doing the 70s ones because like Happy Days and Taxi are like two of my favourite things. So like, I'm looking forward to kind of their take on that sort of thing. And I think they'll probably go all in on like Happy Days because that's probably the biggest sitcom from that sort of time, even though it was set in the 50s, but it's a 70s sitcom. I think the absolute standout thing for me is Catherine Hahn as Agnes the neighbour. She's only been in a little bit, and I won't go into some things on this because I feel like I think some things, if you're a comic book fan, more so than just a movie fan, you kind of know where some bits are going. And I don't want to spoil anything for anyone who probably doesn't know that yet. But I can't remember who she is, but I'm sure Catherine Hahn is playing a larger character rather than just the neighbour kind of thing. But she is just superb. I've always been a fan of her, probably since Parks and Recreation. and she can do dramatic acting as very well. I think she was in Revolutionary Road, the Sam Mendes film with DiCaprio and Kate Winslet. But like, she, as a comedy actress, she's unparalleled. Like, and she was just the perfect amount of kind of tongue-in-cheek comedy acting in this thing, and I just thought she was superb. Um, so I think she's going to be, she's going to be a bigger character. Also, Geraldine, the character they introduced in the second episode, I feel like I know who she is as well, but I'm not going to say just in case people don't. And it's more of a thing than I think it's going to be, if that makes sense. Um, but yeah, there's the obviously in the second episode, the character Dottie was played by Emma Caulfield, who's best known as Anya in Buffy the Vampire Slayer, which is great because I've not really seen her in anything. I don't think she's done anything as big as Buffy since then, and it's really good to see her in something. Like, she doesn't seem to have changed much physically, like she looks great, and like it was really good to see her in something. Um, Obviously, the like I said, they've gone all in on the sitcom thing, and it's quite, quite charming in its own way. Like, I could probably watch at least these two episodes with just the sitcom thing. It's quite funny. I'm not that big a fan of Paul Bettany, but I do like Elizabeth Olsen. I think she's great. I don't know where her accent's gone. I mean, if this is in her head, then maybe she doesn't have the accent in her head, or maybe they just sort of gradually phased it out, which is fine. Doesn't really bother me. But yeah, I think the second episode with the magic show bit, that kind of got on my nerves after a little while. Second time watching, I was kind of, yeah, cool, whatever. Like, I get the whole thing where Vision's using his actual powers because he's got the gum in him and he's not quite. I mean, what a weird thing this is to talk about anyway. But the her making it look like it's all an illusion as well was quite clever. But after a while, I was like, okay, I get this now. Like, you can move on with this. But I said I did expect them to kind of go into this, but then it also have the moments where things get a bit darker, which it does. There's only a couple here and there, and it gets very kind of David Lynch, where everything goes very, very surreal very quickly, which I really liked. Obviously, in the first episode, you had the boss choking, and then it kind of, at first he's getting angry, and then that all kind of gets quite weird and serious. And then the second one, you had the moment with the radio, the voice talking to her through the radio, and then Emma Caulfield's character cuts her hand, and the blood's actually red on top of like the black and white, which is quite striking, and the helicopter, which was in color as well, which stood out. And it kind of makes you think, is this all in sort of Wanda's creation? Like, this kind of takes some cues from House of M, the comic series, where she kind of remade the world in the way she saw it, and also it takes a few cues from Tom King's Vision series from a couple of years ago, which was more about the Vision creating, literally building his own family, whereas this is more about Wanda, but it was about their relationship as well. So it kind of makes you think, are these people all constructs of Wanda's imagination, or are they actual people that are somehow trapped in this world? And is this a world that Wanda is trapped in and Vision? I mean, obviously Vision's dead in the chronology, but he's a robot, so who knows? Or is this like, is Wanda a slave in this own thing, or is this the life she dreamed of with Vision, but it's shown through her like sitcom kind of like knowledge and that kind of thing. It's a really interesting one. The little TV adverts in between each episode were interesting too. We're in between the middle of each episode, because you had the Stark Industries toaster with the couple who were in both adverts, and it kind of reflected like the bomb that she talked about in Age of Ultron with her and her brother, and they were kind of trapped, and they had to look at this bomb for ages, or the Stark weapon, or missile, or whatever it was, and the toaster kind of beeps quite ominously, like, which I thought was quite interesting. And then the Strucker watch, obviously, is a reference to Baron von Strucker from Age of Ultron. And I think he was in Winter Soldier as well, because he was part of the Hydra program that created the twins, who gave them their powers, because they're not quite mutants in this thing. But it was the same couple in both adverts, so I don't know if they're going to be something important, if they could be Wanda and Pietro's parents or something like that. But yeah, that was quite interesting. I mean, obviously in the comics they're not. That's not her parents, but I mean, we'll go with it. But yeah, obviously, and then so the end of the second one, you have the beekeeper coming out of the sewer, which for the life of me, I can't figure out what that means, but I don't think you really meant to at this point. So it's a really, really interesting start. I feel like it's going to be a real slow burner, which is fine. It's going to be 9 episodes in total. But I do feel like the sitcom thing can wear quite quickly. Like, even by the end of the second episode, I was kind of like, okay, I get this now. So hopefully they'll lean a bit more away from it and kind of split it up a little bit. I think for a lot of people, that's going to put them off altogether. I think there'll be a lot of people who like the MCU films will probably look at this and just not have the patience for it, which is fine, because I don't think it's going to be for everyone. But I mean, there's not a lot else going on at the moment. So, but I don't mean that in a bad way. But yeah, I mean, I'm on board anyway, because it's a Marvel thing, and I'm pretty much sold on that. But But yeah, overall, I liked it. I found it interesting, both episodes. And yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what develops. But yeah, but anyway, thank you very much. Thank you for listening. Please leave a like and subscribe, and I will see you next week for the next episode 3 review, and hopefully also in between as well, upload a few videos. But yeah, thank you very much.